Hello, my fellow comic book collectors. This is going to be a really great interview. I'm with Biggie Shaq. He is like the comic wrestler. I don't know what to call him. He's just like the man when it comes to bringing like various collectors together. And he has like his like show that he runs where he brings like all the great collectors together, and he does kind of like this cool round table, and he just really brings a lot of really great stuff to the YouTube audience. And I always enjoy whenever he pulls me onto his show, because I get to meet some really great collectors, and he's a cool guy. So without further ado, I'm going to bring a Biggie onto the podcast here. So hi, Biggie.
Thank you. I forgot to ask you before we started. I hear people call you by your name. I don't want to just call you Comic
You
Collector
can call
Geek
me
all
whatever
the
you
time.
like.
What is it, Paul, or what is it? I forget.
Alan.
Alan, got it.
Yeah. So yeah. But when you call me Alan, make sure you spell it correctly in what you're saying. So it has to be Allan. Everyone always spells my name wrong. It's like a thing.
Oh,
Um,
gotcha.
so I'm just joking. I'm being weird. Um, so tell me about yourself, and how did you get into collecting comics?
All right. So first of all, thank you for having me on. This is a fantastic channel, and how I started collecting comics was, first of all, I was collecting toys. So back when the Michael Bay Transformer era was going on, I was collecting heavy into Transformer toys. And me and my girlfriend, she would notice, she'd be like, "Man, you're spending an awful lot of money on the toys there." And I'd say, "Yeah." And then I started thinking, I was like, what am I going to do to, try to get some of this guilt off my back? So we started watching Walking Dead, and
Okay.
she got interested in it, and she wanted one of those thicker books with all those issues in them. And I told
Oh,
her,
Paperback or Walking Dead or something?
trades, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I go in and I ended up getting her one, but I told her at first, I said, they didn't have them right now, and we're going to get you one. But for now, we're going to buy this week's issue of Walking Dead, and I'm going to get you this Image First Walking Dead #1. And I got
Okay.
her that, and I got her the issue, and we kept the run up all the way till the end of it. From that issue, it was like, I think it was like 130 or 120 or something.
Hmm.
And so after that, she started liking indies and stuff like that. So I would get her Snot Girl, Gwenpool, Squirrel Girl, all that kind of stuff, right? And then I was always kind of intimidated of comic books. And then I was just kind of looking, and we got a second shop, and he brought in more of the kind of stuff I like. He brought in some of the Marvel, Silver, and Bronze. And I started snooping around, and I spent like $13 on Amazing Annual 7, I believe.
Hmm.
And it was in good condition. And I opened it up, and I saw it was from 1969. And I told myself, oh my goodness, this book is old. You know what I mean? Like
Should be worth something.
I went to my other comic shop I usually go to, and I showed it to them. I was like, is this book really that old? And they was like, yes. And I was just like, oh my God, I got something that's really old.
Hmm.
And so it kind of started from there. So I started getting some pulls for myself, sort of new comic book day books. And then I started getting into the back issue stuff. And with the whole YouTube comic book thing, I started off as a fighting game channel. So I played Tekken,
Oh, okay.
Tekken 5 Dark Resurrection, Tekken 6, Tekken Tag 2, Tekken 7. So I was playing Tekken for years, and I, started doing the Transformers, and then I saw people collecting comic books, and I saw my friend Comic Head 84 was doing a live video, and I was
Hmm.
watching it, and I mean, he only had like 400 subscribers, and I was like, oh, so we can leave comments in the live chat while he's doing the video, and it just blew my mind. I was like, if this guy,
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to say like he was dumb or nothing,
Mm-hmm.
but I felt like I related to him. I was like, if this guy could do it, then why can't I?
Anyone can do it, right? That's the
Yeah,
way. That's why I think I inspire people with my channel the same way. It's like, it's like this loser guy can do it. Anyone can do it, kind of thing. So,
right. So I was just like, I saw that, so I tried it, and I was like, oh, I see how that works. And then I had to learn how to invite people, and I was like, oh,
Mhm.
so every time I see like a collector that has a fantastic collection, like Doc or Dope
Yeah.
or you or whoever, I'm just like, oh my god, I got to get them on my channel, at least like have some time with them and let them know I appreciate them and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I'm trying to, I'm gonna, like, I'm starting with you, but then I'm gonna get all the people that you bring onto your channel to come onto my channel for these interviews, because you get some really great people on your channel. Like, there's some
that's completely awesome, man.
amazing
Yeah,
collectors. So yeah,
Hudat is a very important person in the community,
I
and
know he
he's
doesn't
very
respond.
impressive.
It's sort of funny. He doesn't respond to me. I was trying to get some Ninja Turtles from him, but he didn't respond to me.
He
But
will, he will. You just got to
yeah,
keep poking at him, and
yeah,
all those guys are great. Yeah.
yeah, they're pretty cool. So yeah, so how about you show some of your favorite comics that you brought? Like, I told you to bring a stack, so let's see.
Yeah, I got a lot of books. So I'm gonna
I'll
start
make them
with
big when you show stuff. Okay, so
okay. I'm gonna start with these first three, which are like magazine size, and this is my favorite horror comic book I own. It's Creepy 10. It's a Frazetta cover, and it's also first Frank Bruner inside arts. I don't think it's like inside arts. I think it's like fan art. But Frank Bruner's first art's in here. It's a Creepy 10. It just got it's like a multi-key, and I just overall like the cover more than any horror comic I got. So I love this one, Creepy 10. I won this one from my friend Man Cave Comics. This is Marines #5, a famous flamethrower cover. Some of that Golden Age stuff that I see Collector Geek getting a lot of. So thought I'd bring one of my own. I don't know who did the cover. I wish I would have thought to look that up. But and then this is my only Schumberg cover. I do have one Alex Schumberg. It is Fighting Yank 29, and it's the last issue of the run. Now I don't know how many streams you've done with people, Collector Geek, but there's a way that you can be able to talk while I'm talking.
oh, was I not talking there?
We weren't
Was I?
able to hear you at all.
Oh, that's sad. Okay, so yeah, so that was, I don't know. I must have hit something wrong or
What you
something.
do is instead of just making me big, you keep both of us in the little screen area where we're at, and then you hit my little tiny one beside, or you can hit the three TVs underneath us.
The
But if you
three.
just make me big, and if you take yourself out, we won't be able to hear you.
Okay, so I think I know what to do next time. I
Okay,
actually, I got the button right here. I clicked the wrong button.
that's okay,
So
man.
yeah, so that's funny. But the funny thing is, you just educated me on a book that I should really know about. So,
Which
like, I have the complete run of
creepy.
all the Warren Publishing stuff. So Creepy would be one of them. And I didn't know that about Creepy. I didn't know that there was that, that extra like layer to it, that it was an double key kind of thing.
It's a
That is,
Frank Bruner inside art. He did like
yeah,
fan art for it,
that's
and
that's
he's a
interesting.
notorious great artist. Yeah,
Yeah, so that's a great one.
yeah.
And for, like, those books, like, when I was picking them up, they were like $1 or $2.
Right.
Like, I was picking them up for, because nobody cared about Warren.
I
And
probably spent like $6 on mine. So yeah.
actually, that's a great price, believe it or not, because, like,
Right.
those books, like, recently, Fazetta is kind of like the hot artist. So
Oh yeah.
anything like, yeah, his stuff is just going through the roof. So that's a really great one to pick up, and that's really creepy too. So that's definitely a great one. So do you collect a lot of? Do you have any modern stuff? What do you prefer? Do you prefer the older stuff, or do you prefer the more new stuff?
I am a big collector of the Jack Kirby era, early 60s, mid 60s, Marvel and DC around the 60s era, and Kirk Swan and Carmine and all those. So I'm obsessed with the Silver Age, honestly. And
like I think of Kirk Swan, I think of like because he also did Lois Lane, I believe. So and yeah, so I always think about that.
a lot
so
of the
show some more. You're gonna show some more? Yeah,
absolutely.
okay. I'm gonna see if I can do this right. This is gonna be the test. Like, this is all like very non-edited, very live action kind of thing. I'm gonna do it, and we'll see if you can still hear me. Can you still hear me?
Absolutely.
Cool. So I did it right this time.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm tickled that I'm the first one to go through this with you. This is really cool for me. Yeah, I like the bigger keys. I like the stuff that I was as a kid was like, oh man, I would love to have one of those. That's the kind of collector I am.
That was a book that when I got that book in my collection, I got a restored copy. I was super excited to get it. That is just that is just a grail book to me. Like it's one of the best covers. It is just such a beautiful book.
It's people think of the Bronze Age keys, and a lot of Marvel books come to mind. You got GSX, Hulk 180, First Punisher, but if you talk about 4 or 5, every now and then this one will sneak in. They'll be like House of Secrets 92.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of personally, I don't know, this is my bias maybe, but I think that's one of the greatest covers of all time. Like,
I could believe that.
Yeah, I think it's just such a great cover.
Yeah, man.
And the thing I love about that particular comic is that you think that the Swamp Thing is the bad guy based on the cover. He's kind of creeping in.
I just got a reader copy, so please tell me. I gotta know, what is it?
So what it is, like the story behind it is that the woman's like brushing her hair, and her husband, or basically this guy that's kind of evil, he comes in and he's going to murder her. And
Swamp Thing saves her.
Yeah, the Swamp Thing is coming in to save her. It's so awesome.
See, I knew that, but I haven't read it in a while. Yeah.
I would have bought it regardless of the story because it's just such a great cover. But I some books I just feel like I gotta know what the story is behind it. So I read that one. It was just such a great story. Like
that's Swamp Thing's straight up like history, man. He's always lusted after a beautiful woman and kind of saved the downtrodden from. He's definitely kind of like a hero. He seems scary, but he's a hero.
Yeah. It's a cool character. So here, I'll make you big again.
Yes. You're gonna love this one, dude. This one is really special book. My friend Man Cave AOK'd me this, and it's the first issue of the run with the title World's Finest. It's a World's Finest 2, previously known as World's Best. I got tape on it. Daggone it. Let me get that off there. All right, so
that's a pretty nice AOK. That's like,
yeah, he's some kind of AOKer, that guy.
Yeah, that's really awesome. So is there something special? It looks like it has some notes saying that it's some special.
Let's see here. It's a Fred Ray art cover, and first issue formerly known as World's Best Comics. But you're probably noticing the keynotes down here because it's a married copy.
No, I was thinking above that, but yeah.
But the other thing that's important about it besides that is that it's it's like the third time you ever get Superman, Robin, and Batman on a cover.
Yeah, I think it's something about those kind of golden age covers where it just has like sort of like that wholesome kind of, I don't know, it just kind of needs somewhat nostalgia element to it. That's another great one. Wow.
Yeah, this is probably the best book I have in my collection. I mean, value-wise and just notoriety, but besides that, I'm tickled I have this book.
That book has been on a tear recently. Just been like just going up in
It
value.
has. It might be. I remember when X-Men 1 and Giant Side was really hot. It feels like it's just as hot as those two was to
Yeah,
me.
that whole first series is just going crazy. Like I can't believe. Like I'm trying to keep up. I'm trying to get the run right, and
Yeah.
it's just the prices are going through the roof. It's crazy.
Oh my gosh, dude. If I had the money to get any number one, it would definitely be a Hawk one. I feel like it's still got wings and it could go for a long
Oh yeah,
time.
yeah. Oh yeah, that's
Because it's
it's hard to
it's got a lot of good things going for it. Because I know like you're a golden age collector and you like rarity, so of course it's rare. And besides
Mhm.
that, it's just a great story. You know, it's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
as
yeah.
good as. So that was a gift once again from like 30 people. That Hawk 2 was a gift, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah, this community is very generous and kind, and they always pitched in and sent me that. So I wanted to make sure that was known.
That's a
But
huge gift.
that's the biggest gift, dude. It's like every time
That's
it's
like
like,
bigger
oh, I
than
don't
your
know.
car at this point now, actually.
Yeah, a little pattern. uh, so I have to be a man at some point and get like a big book of my own with my
Or
own, you know. So
your own name.
yeah,
Yeah.
I got this is the one I spent the most money on,
Okay.
and this is what I got by myself, and it's I spent like $1,500 on it,
Oh wow.
and it's just in a regular old floppy, Silver Age. But
Now, do you plan to get it graded or?
nah, I don't think so. I think I'm just happy with the mystery, honestly. It could be a 2.0, it could be a 1.8. I believe it's more than 1.0. I've read it. I've flipped through it like 3, 4 times.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I love this book. It's the greatest, and really proud that I own one. It's just cool to say I have a number one because
Yeah, yeah, it's a great book. I actually haven't read that one, believe it or not. I haven't read that story. So you can
um,
inform me about
I
that
have
story.
read this one. I've read 2 or 3 different versions of it also, but the Hulk, basically, Iron Man was the only one able to kind of befriend the Hulk. The rest of them were getting beat down, and Iron Man just was barely able to be like, Hulk, help us, and Hulk was so out of whack and out of range at that point
Mhm.
that it was hard to even calm him down. So it's a good one. I don't think
Yeah,
Hulk stayed on a team that long. I think
no, he
after
didn't.
yeah,
Yeah,
I think
number two, I think he leaves.
I know, dude. That's so cool though.
Yeah, but it's
Uh,
it's kind of funny. Yeah, that he's
Here's,
kind of like not a good team player. I mean, he's got his anger issues, right?
I mean, he was so early into the
There we go. Sorry.
evolvement of them that I mean, we didn't have much to work with either. It was probably like in that little Hulk 1 through 6 series,
Hmm.
that kind of Hulk.
So
So
that's
yeah,
that.
this is First Galactus. FF48 has came down a little bit, and this one's kind of leveled off with 48, in my opinion. But I'm just glad to have one of them. I'd probably be just as happy if I had 48. It's got a little chunk out here.
To me, this is a better book than 48. I know people always kind of go back and forth which is the better book. I actually prefer this one because Silver Surfer's on the cover.
Okay,
So it's
this
just
is
like,
very. This is more dynamic.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
FF48 feels more artistic to me though. I
Yeah,
don't know
I
why.
great covers. But
Yeah. What
definitely this.
what what a master Jack Kirby was.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
To be able to have that kind of range from FF48 to 49, like such a great. I'm gonna show one more, and then we can talk a little bit. But
Sure.
I got this beautiful book, and I kind of only have like one big book of a main character, and just have a few small ones of them now. I
Mhm.
don't have a bunch of like minor keys of Ghost Rider, but I do have a Ghost Rider one. So
That's a big book too. That's
yeah, I
very
wish I
cool.
had a Spotlight 5, but I'm pretty happy with the Ghost Rider one.
I was kind of fortunate about that book. I like my comic store had it, and it was a little bit rough. But he said, "Oh yeah, I'll press it out for you." So then, so I got it. I paid like two, three, no, maybe more than that, about $300 US, roughly. and it graded out at a 9.0.
Oh my gosh.
It just the press really helped it a lot. It's so funny.
I could sneak one. Okay, yeah, we could talk.
Oh, people more. Yeah, always,
Sneak another one in. All right,
yeah,
we'll sneak
people,
one
the
more, and then I feel like we
people
should talk
aren't
about some
coming
more
for
stuff.
us. The truth is, they're not coming for us. They're coming to see the books. Oh, that's a
All right, well, I'll show a few books then.
that's a really great book.
Yeah, I absolutely love this book. This is one of the first books I got from selling books on YouTube. So I was a pretty humble, modest collector for a couple years while I saw everybody on YouTube, and I knew I wanted a Captain America timely,
Yeah,
and
that's
and
great.
the only way I could think of getting it was opening up a PayPal and hopping on a YouTube auction. So I hopped on my first YouTube auction and I made like $300,
Oh,
and I
nice.
bought this Captain America. So that was the
So,
first time.
who is the girl?
I never did find that out, man. I told you I was gonna figure that out, but I never did figure it out.
It's like her costume is kind of weird. Like I kind of like her actually. I think she's kind of cool looking.
Yes, it definitely is a good girl art. It's an Al Iverson. I know that much, and I believe it
Mhm.
is an Al Iverson because a lot of the times when timelies tell you who the artist is, you can almost not. You shouldn't believe it half the time because sometimes there could be two
You
or three guys.
you might see that book in a future unboxing if I can ever find it.
That's cool, man.
It's a very nice book.
I
I
haven't
like it.
seen anybody else get it yet, so if you
Yeah, no,
would, you would probably be the first one I know besides me to have it.
yeah, it looks like one of those ones that nobody has. Like, it's like those early Captain Americas are like so hard to find. Yeah, that's a really cool book. I don't have any Golden Age Captain America in my collection, so it's one of those things that I want to get. Like, like especially the Schomburg stuff. I think is really cool.
I saw you got that Action Comics Golden Age. It was like an early 20s
Yeah, it was
or 19 or 20 issues or what was it?
it was number, I think it was 42, the one with
42.
I think it's the one with the first vigilante.
Okay, that was a beautiful
You know,
comic, man.
vigil. Yeah, it was kind of cool. So yeah, I actually got a pretty good deal too. It wasn't as expensive as you might think.
No, I
But
believe you
yeah,
because Superman is not as bad as what people think. I agree with that.
yeah, but the thing is, what I think people don't realize that it's the first appearance of kind of a cool character. Like I always wonder why some of these Golden Age things, especially DC, are really undervalued. Like,
Yeah,
but yeah, did you ever try to get any like the Marvel mystery comics?
the closest I came was that Timely and that I got an Atlas Submariner, but I've
Oh
thought
wow.
about getting Marvel Mystery before. I wish I would have got a winners or something like that, so I could have got all three of them at once. I would have
Yeah,
liked to have
yeah.
gotten Toro, Subby, and Captain America because right now I'm going to end up having to get three different issues just to get one of them. So
So the Timely Submariner, or is it Timely or Atlas?
it's Timely and Atlas.
Yeah. Because I know they kept
So
on changing the name. So
yeah,
um,
it's the same with Captain America. It jumps from Timely to Atlas at the end.
yeah. But
But if
those
I could give
Submariners,
anybody a suggestion, if you're like I am and you want all three of them, just get you a Winners or a Team USA. There's a couple series where it's all three of them.
yeah.
So
They
that's
always have
cool.
like backup stories with the other characters, which is kind of interesting. Yeah. Um, yeah. The series that I've been trying to collect is Blonde Phantom. And then she has Submariner as her backup story. It's kind of weird. So
Oh, nice.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
I'd
yeah,
like. Do you have any Millie the Model Golden Age?
yeah. A few, not too many, but I actually picked them up really cheaply. I was picking up slabbed copies for like almost like slab costs, like $40. Like
Wow.
somebody just listed a bunch on my comic shop just really cheaply, and I was like, I'm buying those. It's like
Whoa.
no brainer. Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, you never know. You just get some really weird deals every so often, right? Where you find, just you find some great deal that, and then the funny thing is, I saw the same books that I bought like a few days later. People were selling them for like 300-400. I was like, oh, and
Yeah.
they were lower grade. It's funny. So yeah.
So maybe I should try to like explain in this interview because we talked about it briefly before I started, but
Mhm.
um, the way I usually get my books is because I have an antique shop and I have a comic shop, and they
Mhm.
have a surplus of a collection, and I was able to buy. I don't know. I probably invested like $3,000 to $4,000 over 4 years
Mhm.
on dollar books and $2 books, and was able to sell them on YouTube auctions and be able to buy some of these books. So I kind of average out about every 100 books I sell, I'm able to
Mhm.
get a book for my PC.
Well,
That's how
that's a
I.
great. I mean,
Yeah.
I like the fact that you're using the hobby to pay for itself. That's kind
Yeah,
of that's.
it's
I think.
a. I had a problem. I don't know if you have this issue, but I have this thing with guilt. And if I had like a normal job and I earned money, I wouldn't feel so bad about it. But
Mhm.
I'm not. I don't have a job right now, so if the hobby can't, besides helping out with my family and odds and ends stuff,
Mhm.
if the hobby can't afford it, then I'm just bumming money to get it. So it's definitely coming off the hobby. And another thing that's good is that with some of the money I've made, I've been able to buy things for the family too. So a good amount, like 3 or 4 thousand, I know I've spent helping the
Yeah, I
family
mean,
out. So
yeah, I mean, it's good that you never know. It could become this could be your job in the future, right?
yeah,
This
that's the thing, man. Yeah, a lot of people aren't as fortunate as me. They're not able to keep these PC books. Usually, when you see me selling books, it's to get a big book. And
Mhm.
a lot of these guys are just like able to. I don't know. Probably shouldn't feel too bad for them because they probably got a better surplus to me. But
Well,
I don't know, man.
do you find like I get this a little bit with my channel. Do you find with your channel that you're getting people coming to you, offering you, hey, I got a collection that I want to sell, or do you get
I
that or?
don't. I don't.
Oh,
I think
really?
people know that I'm very cheap, and I think they know that. Because I wish they would. I wish I would get like, hey, I got a long box. Are you interested? I can't even buy a long box in my own town because I don't. I'm talking like if I have $5 or $6 left over at the end of the day after buying food and everything I need, cigarettes, gas, then I'll buy $5 or $10 worth of books, and I'll accumulate that for months and months, and then I'll cash in and get a GSX or something.
Oh,
So
that's
that's a.
cool.
It takes forever. It's a long time, but I've been fortunate because I've had some good books and good
Well, it seems like
connections.
you did, considering the way you're doing it, you're doing well. Like, you got some
I'm
pretty big
trying.
books. You got some pretty big books that you've
Don't
sold.
cry for me. No. Yeah.
Yeah. I think you're doing quite well. So,
Yeah.
but yeah. So, what's the big book you're hunting, or what are you actively hunting right now?
Um. I tell you, the biggest book for my gold book right now would be an FF6. I
Okay.
remember talking to you, and I asked you what your favorite Silver Age book was, and you said FF5, and I was like, I love people say that, and that's a really cool one to pick. And
Hmm.
I wanted FF6 before I heard you say that, but
Hmm.
uh, it's definitely like one of the big Marvel bads, and it feels different. If this his second appearance, it's kind of tricky because with Hulk 2, it's tricky. It's tricky because he turns from gray to green, and his attitude and demeanor
Yeah,
kind of change
yeah.
and stuff like
Changes.
that. He picks up a girlfriend. People don't know that often, but
Hmm.
so FF6, um, FF6, it's like it's not only his second appearance; it's also Submariner's there.
Yeah.
It's
First team
it's a
up.
first evil team up,
Yep.
right? And then it's an early FF to top it all off. It's like a
Yeah.
single digit. It's a huge book. It's a no
Actually,
brainer. You
it's a
know.
cover that I really like, just because like
Yeah.
in both, it looks, it's that kind of like, you know, versus kind of look where it's like the two bad guys versus the team look. You know, I kind of like that.
True.
Yeah,
True.
it's a good cover. Yeah. Yeah, not like the like when I was going for FF, the big books that I wanted were 6, 5, and 4. Like, you know, that little run, I think is just the best.
Yeah, I never thought I'd be able to get a 49 or a 52 or any of the stuff I get. So you never know. You might. That's definitely what I'm going after. And the only way I'm gonna be able to get it looks. I saw one attached for 800 on on Instagram. It's a 2.0, but I might have to go like
Pretty good price.
It really is. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
considering what people would think it'd go for. But
Yeah, I
there's
think
detached covers on eBay for like 600. There's detached, and that don't bother me with a book like that for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah. Is it detached but slabbed, or is it detached and raw?
Detached and raw, and the thing is, Alan, is that whenever I saw the 2.0, it was taped.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I mean,
So
I think I have like I have a 6 in my collection, but I think it's a 1/8. It's not like a super, like I'm the low grade dude. I try to
I am
just get the
too.
book in my collection, right?
I don't know
So,
I don't know how you could call a like this book for example. Okay, I got this Amazing Spider-Man Annual 1. It's taped. Is that considered attached? I don't know. Would it get a green label? Maybe.
no, so that's the weird thing. Like I never understood this. You can, if you can put marker on the thing and try to like color touch, and you know, you'll get that purple label, or but if you do the tape, you're okay. For some reason they don't flag
Yeah,
tape.
like clear packing tape. Like, why is
Yeah,
that okay?
I don't know. I don't get it. I don't make
I
the
don't
link,
know.
but it's weird that tape. They'll mention it in the notes, but it doesn't impact the comic in terms of, you know, restorers,
Yeah,
which is really messed up. But
and people could take I don't know what they call them, but like they kind of stitch the cover back together. It's like a stitch or something. So
yeah, that I think that does get the flagging
it
of
does.
stored. Yeah,
I
that's
thought that if
stored.
they did it really well, you might not be able to tell though. I thought
Well,
that
yeah, if you
people.
do it well. Yeah,
Okay. Well, that's the thing. It's like if somebody can do it well enough, I don't know.
yeah. Are you familiar with Jerry? With Jerry
Jerry, I
Boulder?
am. Yeah, he
Yeah,
does amazing stuff. Like that thing he did with
he does
Metarog's book with that Witchcraft 5 was amazing, bro.
yeah, he's done quite well. Actually, he gets away with some stuff.
I feel like once you clean a book and do all the rehab and stuff, I feel like you've ruined it. I
Oh, really?
appreciate that. Oh yeah, I wouldn't want mine to be fixed. I'd want it to stay the way it is, and the next person could possibly fix it. That's just the way I am, though.
Okay.
Um,
It's just very different. Like I'm like,
I don't think it's bad though. I think it's okay.
mhm.
But once it's touched, it's touched.
Yeah. I'm kind of,
Anything you do to rehab it, it's been altered. So I would leave it the way it is.
so how do you feel about pressing then?
Pressing, I don't like it. I don't like any of it. I think it's good and it can work for you and stuff, but I feel like it could ultimately damage the book if your
Oh yeah.
book's going through that kind of stress.
No, I've heard some horror stories of bad pressing, like where the book,
Now,
I guess it gets dried out and kind of.
I'm not so hard on rehab books though, especially Golden Age. I would still consider them like mid grade and stuff. You know,
Yeah.
only way I would give like a 0 grade or a 0.5 is if you don't have the cover and half the book's missing. I feel
Yeah.
like the grades are way too harsh. Grades are way too harsh.
Yeah. Sometimes it can be kind of weird. Like yeah, that's the weird thing. Like for example, my X-Men #1, complete book, spine's complete, everything's complete. It just looks crappy. It's like a crappy looking book, and it got a 0.5. To me, anything that's below a 1 is incomplete. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
the grading can be kind of weird, like where it
it's
will
way
actually,
too harsh, dude.
yeah.
I feel like if you're
Well,
missing a header, you could probably get up to a 3.0. That's just me though. That's how I
well,
am. I mean,
you
if it's
know,
a sharp copy.
I've seen like usually if it's missing the header, it's considered a remainder copy, and
Right.
it gets flagged as a .5, right? But
Well, CBCS has been grading higher for those.
I've seen those getting grades at ones, and I'm like,
Yeah, well, I've
it's not,
seen a
it's not
2.0.
Oh, really?
Oh
That's
yeah,
messed up.
I've seen. I think it was a Daredevil one got a 2.0.
And it had like it was a
No
remainder copy.
header. No header. It was
Wow.
a what's my guy's name? The Chinese guy that collects with this. He's got an extra one. You know what I'm
Oh,
talking about?
yeah. I think I know. I think I know the guy you're
I
talking
can't
about.
remember his name off the top of my head, but
Is
he
it
was showing a
ETA
video.
Nick?
But yeah, ETA Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has a video on his channel talking about it.
Oh, that's so that's so crazy.
Yeah,
That's but I
I know.
have to
I
say,
think it's good though. I think that they're wising up. I think that's a good step in the right direction in my mind.
yeah. I mean, it depends on what the rest of the book looks like, I guess.
Right.
Like but yeah. Quickly, I should wrap it up. But
Okay.
where can people find you? What are you up to? All that kind of stuff.
You could find me on the Immortal Biggie Shaq YouTube channel,
Hmm.
and I usually it's kind of like a collector's vlog. I kind of try to explain how I get my books and show you how I do it and tell you how I feel about comics. And I'll bring people from the comic book community on my channel on every other Friday to talk about what they think about their comics and in the hobby. So besides that, you could find me on Tony Sanders' The Hunt. I go opposite Fridays of him. So this week I'll be on The Hunt with Tony Sanders. And that's
Hmm.
the wrestling comic book stuff we were talking about. I do the
Yeah.
wrestling.
Well,
Right.
that's how I always imagine you, that on the hunt, right? Where it's like
Yeah.
everyone does this kind of like wrestling style comic book like battles. It's kind of fun.
You would be
I really,
great. I thought you almost got on the show. We're going to have to, I told Tony I'm going to try to talk you getting back on
yeah,
there,
yeah,
man.
yeah. I'd like to go on his show. I was all down for it. Actually, he's another guy I'd like to interview because
Oh, he's
yeah,
a legend.
he's great. Yeah, I enjoy watching those. It's sort of funny. I wasn't really into wrestling, like watching wrestling,
That's
but
okay. You don't
but
have to be.
but as a kid, we would do my friends and I would always like pretend to be wrestlers and stuff.
Oh well,
But
shit, you'd be perfect. I could, dude. All you
yeah,
gotta do is bring some of your books, and you'll probably end up winning. Like, if you
I
don't
don't,
win, you try again. You know,
yeah, I don't have the that's I don't know the style.
personality, the style,
Yeah,
yeah. I
you
don't.
gotta
I think you'll
be bigger
figure it
than
out,
your life.
man. Apparently, dude, you're way too hard on yourself. Look how successful your channel is, bro. You've only
Oh
been doing this for a little while, and your thing's bigger than mine and everybody's, dude.
yeah,
You're doing really
I
well.
post I inundate people with posts. I just keep on posting until you better subscribe to me because I'm posting every day. So
I need to learn how to do what you're doing. I can't figure it out, man. So you think it's just? I don't think it's that you're doing a lot of it. I think you're just people like you, bro. I think a lot of time that's what it is.
well, I hope so.
Yeah, yeah, man. You're awesome, dude. I was talking to Doc about you the other day, dude, and you are really enthusiastic. I think that you might be more enthusiastic about the hobby than almost anybody I know at this point. Like
Well,
you are so like you're like a sponge when it comes to learning a new thing about what you're into, you know, and
mhm.
it's really fun to watch. So
That's cool. That's cool. I appreciate the compliment, actually.
yeah. So that's
Um,
about it. You can catch me on Tones and you can catch me on my channel and I'll be on Hoodats and auctions and all types
okay.
of stuff, man.
So I'll link all of that in the description. So people, you got to check out this guy's stuff. It is just fun. I actually enjoy your vlogs, by the way. Where
Oh,
you're
thank
just
you.
like you're just outside, just shooting the crap and just like walking around, and you're just talking about stuff. I actually enjoy those, and I enjoy the videos that you just started. It's a recent series that you've done, where you're looking at like Comic Toms and all these kind of
Yeah,
channels, and just sort of, are these really good books and stuff like that, and just
yeah.
sort of um I find that a lot of people buy into the hype, and I enjoy that you're just sort of giving that common man kind of like bring it down a notch and just sort of saying, yeah, maybe not. Maybe these aren't
Yeah,
such good.
I'll make sure to give them credit when they do get a book right. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's quite good. So I enjoyed
Yeah.
that. I wanted to say that to you. So yeah. So thanks again for coming on the show.
Absolutely.
And if in the future, obviously, you're always welcome to come on my channel. Obviously.
Thank you.
Yeah. And if you ever need me on your show, I'm always willing to come onto your show.
I thought I invited you last time. I have to get your email again if I didn't. I'm sorry if I
Yeah.
did.
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
I thought didn't I invite you last week, or am I crazy?
I don't think so.
You
No.
don't. I believe you. I might not have done, but I'll
Yeah.
make sure I do again.
Yeah. Anytime though. So yeah, thanks again. And bye everyone. Okay.